Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is Raja Babu from IIT Madras. I have recently completed my MS in Electrical Engineering from IIT Madras and simultaneously completed BS in Data Science and Application from IIT Madras. So in lot of my videos, I have seen comments particularly about a foundation subject, that is computational thinking. A lot of students are asking about this subject specifically, and they've assumed that since they are not from the computer background, not from the mathematics background, they will feel difficulty in this particular subject, or they are facing the difficulty in this subject because of their background. But it is not a complete story. So to demystify that particular myth, in this video I am presenting a detailed analysis of that computational thinking subject, so that you can approach the subject in a better way and get the most out of that subject. You need to understand what the course is trying to teach you, then only you can learn from it. You do not need to assume anything before starting the subject. It does not matter whatever your background is. That particular foundation level is designed in a such way that irrespective of any background, irrespective of your educational status, you will you will smoothly enter into the data science course. So let's go and analyze this particular subject in a deeper manner. So this you might know that it is a foundation level course. So if we dig deeper into this subject, you will see the course ID. I know many of you do not even understand what this course ID is, but if you see specifically, it is BSCS 1001. So the BS means BS course, CS means it is related to the CS field, computer science field, and 1 here means it is of the uh, level 1 course. And if you see the degree level course, it might be 3 or 4. So it is 1 level, means it is not that much hard, level 1 course. And 001 means this is the first course in that series. So this is about the subject, and it is a 4 credit course. So if you don't understand what the course credit means, this is just how many weeks, equivalently how many weeks you need to devote. So for this you need to devote the 12 weeks. You can understand in that manner, and it is a foundation course. It is required to build the foundation for the deeper course, higher level course like data science, and deep learning, artificial intelligence, like that. And in the course syllabus specifically, the prerequisite, that is what you need before starting the subject, it is mentioned in none. But as per my experience, my understanding, a basic understanding of English is necessary to excel in this course. If you understand the English, if you are able to diversify, decipher what the English is trying to tell you, then you are ready to go. You can easily excel in this course. You just need to follow whatever instruction is there, and you need to think how computers think. So that's why it is a computational thinking. So you need, this course will help you to build the logic, so that you can write the code so that computers can understand your language. So it is just like that only, not much more than that. So if you are weak in English, then I will suggest you to build up your English first, and then you can easily crack this subject. So I have built this word cloud for the syllabus. So if you see the word cloud, so if you see the main word is coming as programming. So it is quite obvious that this course is trying to tell you the programming. And what does programming means you need, in this course you will be able to understand how to write a program. You will not write any program, you will just go through the pseudo codes, which are not actual codes, just the logic. So programming means you will understand the logic building in this. So that is why it is approach is also common, because it is trying to tell you the approach, how to approach, how computer approach a problem. So you will also understand how computer approaches problem, so that later in the higher level course you will able to write your own code. So that's why it is quite important subject, and it is very necessary as well. And another thing is iteration. So uh, common thing in any programming language is iteration, that is loops. So you will find the for loop, while loop, do while loop in some cases as well. But iteration, you should understand how does the iteration work, then only you will be able to excel in this course. Then data is there. Then procedure, what does procedure means? Functions. So you will find the different blocks of the code, and then you will be able to understand what this block means. So this, so iteration, procedure, then data, concepts, and then you will find the graph. So you will find a different kind of graph problems as well in this course. And somewhere here is the list. So here it is not much, but you will find a lot of list problem as well in the course, and the tree as well. So so if you see, and there's the flow chart, variables, so a lot of things are there. But more or less it is just about the approach and programming. And if you are able to understand it in a simple English, and you are able to just apply whatever instruction are given, then you don't need anything. You just need to think like a computer. Now if we focus on grading, so I am focusing on grading because a lot of you are confused on this aspect as well, that's why I am focusing on this as well. So if you see the total score, it is a graded assignment 10%, and I will suggest you to attempt the graded assignment. You can easily attempt, it is just a weekly graded assignment, and it is counted till week 10. Even though week 11 and week 12 will not be counted, but I will suggest you to do that as well. It will help you in the end sem. And this here is like the maximum of these two. So I will always focus on this part only, because I will suggest you to attempt both quizzes. Don't miss any of these quizzes. Even if you are not prepared, just attempt the quiz. So here if you see, the quiz 1 has a 20% weightage, and quiz 2 has a 30% weightage, and final has a 40% weightage. So quiz 1, and then quiz 2, and then final. And if you miss one of the quizzes, then the maximum of this will be counted, and you will easily lose 10% marks. So I will now suggest you to do that. And eligibility to write the final exam, like you need to attempt the average, means average of best 5 out of the first 7, it should be greater than 40, and the attendance is one of the, so you need to attempt at least one quiz. And then final course rate is like attending the end September exam. So you need to be clear on that aspect as well. Apart from that, you need to understand different data sets. So if you see the course, it is like it is just a story, and the professors have quietly well told us the story, and it was quite interesting. So while watching the lectures, I was not even making any notes, I was just listening and just understanding the story. So they have told in a very nice way, and just listen, and then you will understand by your own. You do not need to make any notes, because then not much here to make notes. And in the course you will find a different data set they are presented in a very nice way. So you will find the scores data set, words data set, library, Olympics, and different kind of data set. And this will be also given in the quizzes and the end up. And it is just for reference, you will not need the actual data, you will just need the what are the different columns, row, attributes, like that only. So you just need to understand the structure of the data set. Now comes to the main thing. What should be your right approach to attempt any computational thinking question? So as I told you, you do not need to have a background in mathematics, no need a background in computer science, no need background in engineering. You just need to understand the basic English. So first thing is, first you need to read the question twice. So I've seen a lot of people just do not even read the question and then jump to the options. So it is not a good way. you need to read question twice. So once you read the question twice, first time you will not understand anything, but second time when you read it again, you will be understand at least some percentage out of it. So once you read the question, try to find the relevant data set. So in most of the cases in the computer thinking, you will see some data set associated with it. So once you find the data set, you will be able to relate much to it. So you will find the scores data set, you will see there's a scores data set I've seen in the lecture. So yeah, this data set I know. And then see for the objective, uh, like what you need to find, what the question is telling you to find, you need to find the objective and just write it down in a brief, in your easy to understand language. You do not need to write in a long thing, just write 1 or 2 words so that you can understand. And while uh, uh, if you do double check, then it will be helpful to you. Then the next step is skim through the pseudocode. So in most of the question, there will be some pseudocode. Pseudocode not means the not actual code. So you will just skim means just read through it as a simple English. Don't treat it as a different complex computer code. Just treat it as a simple English and just read it as it is, and do it twice. So once you do it twice, then you will be able to find the different variables, so different names associated it, different values associated with it, different keywords like for, while. So once you find that for, while, you will be able to understand, yeah, this is a loop kind of question. Then different blocks, so you will find that, yeah, there is some block, so there is some function procedure. So yeah, in this way you can understand that, and write it down as well. I will tell you some example, so you will be able to understand well. And then once you identify all this, try to build a rough logic. So uh, I guess once you identify variables, keywords, blocks, you will be at least able to understand some logic, like what is going on. So on the basis of that, try to build some logic and just write first. Try to build a logic in your mind, and then write in brief, like whatever in if you understand in pictures, just write in pictures, and then just in words, so that you can understand it. It is your problem and it is your solution. And then once you do that, you need to do option elimination. So you can directly find the option, but the easiest way is option elimination. And one important advantage with that is you get the 50% chance. So even you don't know anything about the question, at least there is a 50% chance that you will get the right answer. So before that there was a 25% chance. Now there's 50% chance, because you will always find two conflicting options. So you've eliminated other two. So once you check with all options, and if you build the rough logic, then you will 100% get the right answer. So that is a right approach to attempt any CT problem. So you can apply to any CT problem, and you will be able to uh, find the right answer. So but this also require a lot of practice. So once you do a lot of question, then in the exam you will not face any difficulty, as far as I understand. So let's try with some examples here. So this is a one example I have taken from the May 23 quiz one, and this is a MCQ kind of question, and I have treated it as a easy to medium question. So in this you will find this code snippet, which is a pseudo code, and this is a question: consider the school's data set. What will C represent at the end of execution? So read it twice. Consider the scores data set. What will C represent at the end of execution? So now you will understand there is a scores data set. Yeah, and there is a objective. What is objective? That you need to find what this C variable representing at the end of execution, and these are the some of the option available here, and this is our pseudocode. So let's see how to approach it. So here the data set is scores, objective is to find the value of C, and the different variables. What are different variables? There is one variable here, C equal to 0, so which is a kind of integer. I have written in very brief, and it is very rough sketch. You can do your own. It is not some hard and fast rule. So like a is some kind of some value written by function, like here is a equal to do something table one. So what is do something? It is kind of procedure, means it is a function do something, and it is returning some value, and it is returning avg. So many of the variables here will be quite obvious, like by the name itself you will understand what does it mean, but do not assume that. In some cases they've changed as well, so do not assume it. Go by the logic, just read it as a simple english, and whatever it is given instruction, follow the instruction. Like what does computer do? They do not use their own brain, just they follow the instruction. Whatever code is written, they just follow it. Even if you give the for a wrong code, they will just follow and give the wrong answer. And then x, what is this x? So it is kind of a row, and do something is kind of function. Sum is kind of summation here, and the n is the number of rows somewhere here. You will find here n equal to 0, and avg, it's kind of average. So it is just a preliminary thing, do not assume it hard and fast. Now if you see keywords, you will find some while. So you can guess that it is a loop, and then procedure is a kind of function. And if you say the blocks, there are two blocks, three blocks actually, two while loops and the one function. So inside one function there is another while loop. So then after that, uh, once you identified, then try to build a rough logic, like what it is actually doing and what is your objective. You need to find the what is the value of c. So here it is c equal to 0, then it is going to do something table 1. So from there we will go to here. So what is do something? It is just function, and we will see what is this. And this is a table 1. Table 1, what is it? Is from the school's data set. And then sum equal to 0, n equal to 0. We don't know what is sum and n now. So while table 1 has more rows. So if you see from the lecture, they have written like if there is some rows, then it will go only. If there is no row, it will just end. So if there is some row, then only it will first read the first row x. So it will read the first row, and then equals sum plus x dot physics. So if we have guessed that x is the sum row, so from that row just pick the physics value and then add to that sum, and then n equal n plus 1. So it is just n, so it is going to the next row, and then move x to the table 2. So there is another table, just move that x to another table, so that we will not read that again. So it means we will read the next row in the table 1. So it is just like that. And it is going to while. So it is a loop, so it will go again and again. Once all the rows are read in the table 1, then only it will end. So after reading all the rows, it will just sum. So it will just give the value of the physics, sum of the all the physics marks. And once you get the sum of the physics mark, then it is sum by n. So what is sum by n? It is the average. That's why I assume that avg means average, but it is does not mean in that way always. Then it is returning the average, and then it is ending. So it is returning the average value. And then what is this doing? It the same manner. Table 1 has more rows, so it reads the first row until all the rows finish. And if we see check if x dot physics is greater than a, and uh, uh, what is a here? A is the average of physics marks. So if the physics value is greater than the average of physics marks, then only it will add this c equal x dot total. So it is the total marks, sum of the total marks of all the student whose physics marks is greater than average. So if you see from the example options, so it is the sum of physics marks of the student. So if you see the c equals c plus x dot total, from here only you can guess that it is the sum of total marks, not sum of the physics marks. So these two options are just eliminated anyways. Now you have the just 50% option. So if you see the sum of total marks, whose physics marks are less than. So if you see not it is less than, it is greater than. So whose physics marks are more than average physics mark. So you are done. You got your option, and you have built the logic as well, and you can just verify it as well. So what we have done, just read at as a simple English, and once you understand the simple English, then you can easily follow the instruction. Just think like a computer, and it requires practice, but it is very easy if you see in that way. So let's move to the example 2. I've taken from the Jan 23 Q 2 MCQ, and it is a code snippet. Like here, we don't get the option in terms of uh, word option. You need to fill that code, so you will get the different snippet in the option, and it is a medium to hard. So first we will read the question. Following pseudocode is executed using the words dataset and explode W returns the list of the letters in the word W. For example, explode common will return COMMON at the end of execution. Count stores the number of words with at least two consecutive occurrence of the same letter. Choose the correct fragment to complete the pseudocode. So it is a very long question, and in the first hit you will not understand like what it is saying and all, since I have read it before. So it is easy for me now to understand what it's saying. But if you read for the first time, you will be very confused. So read it again, and once you read it again, you will find that yeah, it is talking about the words data set, and there's some function explode W, which is returning the list of the word letters in the word W. So if it is common, it is just return the number of letters in it. So it is explode, and in the execution and the end of execution, count store the number of words with at least two consecutive consequence of the same letter. So here you need to build a logic. You do not need to find the logic. You have to build the logic based on the question. So this is that type of question. So you can find that this is a word data set, and what is your objective? To build the logic for the consequent function which will return the number of words which have at least two consecutive occurrence of the same letter. So that's why I told you basic English is basic understanding of English is required, because once you understand the English only, like what this question is telling, then only you can frame the logic, and you can solve the question. So that's the main prerequisite here. What are different variables here? This is the count, and there's a letter list, and there's a rows. So it is, the structure is the same. Like you can see the table 1 has more rows. So once you understand that, you do not need to spend more time here. And there's explode function. So there's a consecutive function, consequent, last letter, rest list, first, rest, like that. And there's a keywords while procedure, so you can know that this is a loop question, there's a function question, and there's a blocks, one while loop, and one the function. And another thing here is, in the lecture itself you will find this type of list function, like first, rest, init, member, length. So first is just, it will give the first uh, first variable of the list, and the rest will give the last variable, uh, and that a member will give it is a member of that only. Length is like length of the elements in it. That, so you will find that. So you need to have the basic understanding of this, so then only you can crack the question. So here you have the four options, and in this type of question, just make a dummy list. So once you make a dummy list kind of thing, then you can understand that what the question is telling. So you have identified, then you need to build the logic. For the logic building, you need to form this dummy kind of list. So this is the, so A, B, B, C, D, E. So it will return true because it has the consecutive words, at least uh, uh, what is that, at least two consecutive occurrence on the same letter. So yes, there is a two consecutive occurrence here, and here it was has two consecutive occurrence. But here, if you see, the B occurs twice, but it is not consecutive. So you need to understand consecutive means that it is one after another. And E is also appearing, but it is also not consecutive. So it will return true for this two, but not for this. So it will return false for this. Now if we see the count and letter list, so it is some kind of list, and this kind of count, this is just variable, and this is a while loop. So just read the first row, and then letter list explode equal x dot words. So in the table there is some word, and it is sending to this explode, and they mentioned that explode just tell the letters. So if there's a length, and then it will give the LENGTH. So we have the list of that letters. Now we have counting the count equal count plus conjugate. So we need to understand this. So there is a function conjugate which accept a list, and this is a first. So here it is written last letter, but it is actually first. So that's why I told you, just don't assume, just go by the logic. So it is the first, so it will give the first letter. So if you see here, it will give the A here if this is the list, and the rest will give the rest of the list. So it will give A, and then the rest will give B, B, C, C, D, E, E, like that. Then you need to fill the logic. So if you see by the then you need to do option elimination, like for each letter in a rest list. So we have this list, and for each letter, then we have stored this A as a last letter, and then we are going through this remaining list. So if letter equal last letter, so then we are here B. So if a letter equal last letter, it will return 1. So 1 means here the yes, it has, so it will increase the count, otherwise it will return 0. But since B is not equal to A, it will not return 1. Then it will go here, then it will update the last letter equal letter, so it will now become B, and then it will loop again, and then it will find the B as well. So once it find the B, then it will return 1, and once it return, then function will end, and then count will increase. So by going through the option only, that first option is right, then you do not need to spend on other three options. But if you have some time and you are just rechecking your answer, then you can spend, otherwise you can just go by the first option. So that is a good way. If you try to build your logic and then write pseudo code for that, then it will take time. Go for the option elimination. Now let's see the third example, so that you will be clear how to approach. Now I've taken the graph problem. So we have seen the list problem, graph problem, and the basic CT problem. Now let's go for the graph problem. So here you will not find any data set. So there's a graph, and there's a 6 nodes, and M is 6 cross by 6 adjacency matrix corresponding to this graph. So in the lecture itself, you will understand what is adjacency matrix and some words related to that. So you will not face difficulty in that. Just practice much problems. So it is just a matrix which tell you which node is connected to which. So like 1 is connected to 0, 2. So it will be 1 for that. 4 is connected to 2 and 3. So like that. I will describe how it looks. So M has already computed. So what will the value of L after the executing the following pseudo? So just read it twice, then you find that there is some graph, there is an adjacency matrix, and you need to, what is the objective? You need to find the value of L after executing this pseudo. And this the pseudo code is given, and these are the some of the example option. And I've taken from September 23 end term, and this is MCQ graph problem, and it is medium to hard. Graph problems are generally hard if you attempt for first time, but once you have the requisite level, then it will be quite easy for you. Objective is to find the value of L. There are different variables here. If you see that D here, we can assume that it is a dictionary, because for this curly brace, and L is a list, and D2 equal -1, so there is a key here, and 2, and whose value is -1. It's just an initialization. And there is explore graph, which is a kind of function. We can see that it is a procedure, and what it is passing M. We can see from the question that it is adjacency matrix. D is the some dictionary, L is some list, and 2 is some value, and this is a function. And you can see that here the things change, because M is going to graph, so it is a you need to map it. So it is a adjacency matrix. P is here dictionary, and S here is the list, and yeah, it is I equal to 2 here. uh, yeah, so you need to first build this adjacency matrix. So it is just like nodes here and here, and just write one where it is just connecting, and it will be symmetric as far as I guess. So you can check from that as well. So once you build that, then it is very super easy. So if you see that d equal to equal minus 1, so if you have attempted before graph problem, then you can see it is just a way to tell that it is a starting point. So yeah, and if you see here we have explore graph. So from the name itself you can understand it is a traversing the graph, means you are going through each nodes. So you will find the traversing in the lecture what it means. So S is a list. So equal S equal S plus 1 I. So I here first we are inputting 2 into the list. It is an empty list. Then we are inputting 2. So then there is a loop here. So for each j in column graph. So if you see here, this is the we are going through first we are going through this we are starting from this, and then we are going through each column. So for this we are first going to 0 column, and we are checking that graph ij equal 1, if it is equal to 1 or not. So it means 2 0. So yes, it is 1, and then we are checking whether it is in key pj. It is very looking very difficult now, but if you understand and read it twice or thrice, then you will understand, yeah, it is quite easy, that it is, yes, it is checking whether it is key or not. So means it is just checking that if it is already visited or not. So if it is already visited, then it will not go through it, otherwise it will go through it. So it will see that if this is already visited or not. So 0 is not in the this dictionary, so it will go through this loop, and then p of j equal to 1. So it will then update that p is a dictionary, so p equal 0 equal to I. So it will update, yes, it is visited, and then it will again go through this function. So it is kind of recursive function, and we are just traversing. So once you understand the logic, you do not even look at the pseudocode. So yes, I understood what is this code is telling me to do, and then I can just get the answer from the graph itself. So here we can see that it is going from 2, and then it is going to the 0. Why not 1? Because we are going through each column, and 0 come in first. So we are going to 0. Then uh, from 0 we are going to whatever it is attached to 2. So since we have visited 0, then we can go to the 3 or 1 here, but 1 comes first, so then we will go to 1. Then after 1 we will go to 3, and then once 3 is received updated into the list, then we will go to 4. So 2 0 1 3 4, and then since 5 is not connected and it is last, then we will go to 5. So if you see that 2 0 1 3 4 5, it will option will be like that. So 2 0 1 3 4 5, and you will see that first two options are anyways eliminated in the first try itself. So you have the 50% chance. Here you can see just last two values are checked. So this is the right third. So this is how you need to attempt the city question. I hope these three examples will give us enough motivation to attempt the city in a very light manner. Now what are different resources? So first the lectures, just watch the lecture. You do not need to make any notes, just watch, listen very carefully. Don't do anything while listening, just listen what they are telling, and once you understand their story point, then you are done. So you need to understand the context. Once you understand the context, like scores, data set, different data sets, then you will understand. And then use the lecture ppts as well. So while revising for the cues, just use the lecture PPT and then practice as much you can. So once you practice, you will be able, you will much familiar with type the question. And there's a book available for this as well, but I don't think the book is required at this stage, and I personally not use the book. And but if you want, you can purchase from the Amazon. The same professors have written, I think, primer to computational things, something like that. And if you dig deeper into the discourse, you will find the PDF version of this as well in the free. So it is up to you. So that's all from my side. I hope this video will help somebody who is struggling with the subject. And so, okay, goodbye, take care, happy learning.
There's things I can't seem to let go, and I feel like